time pressures to deliver are higher than ever before. If you think about Russia really being a leader in energy and a lot of new energy developments really happening over here. We actually as a world need to innovate the way we innovate. Human ingenuity has really been the powerhouse for game-changer innovation in this space. And there's no company in its own right which can make the difference all by itself. It's about collaboration. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's really an honor to be here. It's nice to be back in Russia, and it's great to be talking about innovation and about technology. The open house, the innovation open house, which we currently have, I think is a great opportunity. And I think it's a great opportunity for two different reasons. Yes, if you think about Russia really being a leader in energy, and a lot of new energy developments really happening over here. So one of the good things about an event like this is that we can showcase some of the innovations which I believe really will allow Russia to continue to have this eminent position in the world. The second reason why an event like this is good is that we can talk about the fact that in new energy developments, business as usual is no longer possible. We actually as a world need to innovate the way we innovate. Time pressures to deliver are higher than ever before. And there's no company in its own right which can make the difference all by itself. It's about collaboration. So let me explain. And in the introduction you already heard it. The world is needing more and more energy as we go by. Yeah, there's many different predictions, but one of the predictions is 1/3 extra energy in the next 25 years. As we as a globe are heading to 9 billion people on this planet in 2050, 9 billion people who hopefully have a significantly higher standard of living than we have today. The time of easy oil and easy gas has gone. I'm not sure whether it was ever easy, but it's definitely not getting any easier as we go into the future. And that means that there will also be environmental stresses and pressures which we need to address in some way and some form. And if you think you can leave that in our own industry, the energy industry, that's not the case either. We need more food, we need more water. And these three are intercorrelated, so we need to kind of solve an even more larger problem. Russia has been a really kind of powerhouse in terms of energy and in terms of economy. It is, unlike many of the Western countries, still growing in terms of economy, and that's a very phenomenal fact. It's a significant energy user, often all price related, the economic growth. The as an energy user, it's still growing by, I think, 0.8% per annum, which is a significant amount. So this is the place where energy kind of challenges take place. On a per capita basis, it's one of the highest energy users, and it's likely to stay the same. It's the 4th energy consumer in the world, and that is a significant feature in its own right. It's the land where there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of opportunities. So this is about how to grasp these opportunities. As a matter of fact, as the biggest gas exporter in the world, as energy exporter in the world, as the second biggest gas producer, the fastest size of resource, this is really the land of opportunity. The energy landscape is changing, as you all know. But there's one thing which is really featuring in that space, and that is that innovation and the power of technology development continues to be very important. Now, traditionally speaking, we always had our challenges and always made them into opportunities. And human ingenuity has really been the powerhouse for game-changer innovation in this space. Shell has played its role as well in this space. Over the last 100 years, We've been pioneering LNG, liquid natural gas, and we've been able to come up with new ways to bring gas to the market which we couldn't use before. We've been working gas to liquids, really converting gas directly into chemicals and to lubricants and fuels. We've been working in deep water. A lot of challenges in deeper and deeper water, tapping into the vast resource base which the oceans have for us. We're actually bringing a whole array of products to the market in the downstream business. Chemicals, lubricants, fuels, ever and ever better properties and lower environmental impact. If I look at Shell, we try to put our money where our mouth is. So in terms of technology investment, we are still the highest investor amongst the international oil companies, really making sure that we continue to innovate. As a matter of fact, in MIT's technology review, we are the one and only IOC company which is mentioned in this list of innovative companies. Our mission very much is to be the most competitive and innovative oil company, energy company in the world. And I think an innovation like this one is an excellent opportunity for you to kind of share and kind of engage with us on some of the developments which are going to make that difference. So, in my presentations, I'm going to take you through a number of examples. And actually, my colleagues will really deepen out some of these examples in the day to come. Let me start by unlocking energy, unlocking resources, seeing what others cannot see, so we can find what others cannot find. This example, which you see over here, is an offshore example where we try to use autonomous underwater vehicles to really go from a mothership through GPS to a location to sense in seismic way what the Earth has to hide in terms of complex reservoirs, deep layers, even in remote locations. And then bring these signals back to the surface. The nodes come back and they can be used somewhere else. Significantly higher data quality through ocean bottom sensing, significantly lower cost, significantly faster speed, and it can not only be used in deep water, it can also perfectly be used in Arctic. So being on the topic of Arctic, LNG. Shell has been pioneering liquid natural gas in the past as a way to bring gas to customers which cannot be served through normal pipeline systems. It's a significant growing market, a significant opportunity for gas. Shell has the highest amount of gas sales in the business. Last year, about 20 million tons. And we're also working on LNG in Russia. Together with Gazprom, our partner, in Sakhalin 2, we have really kind of combined Arctic challenges, LNG challenges in oil and gas development to make that difference. And again, being on the topic of Arctic, Yule mixed refrigerant, a process really applied in Sakhalin 2, is a great opportunity to maximize production in even the very cold and Arctic winters of Russia. It's not only about developing gas, it's also about how to transport it. As a matter of fact, Shell is one of the biggest carriers of LNG in the world. 30% of the LNG floating around is being carried through Shell joint ventures. We are working with Sovcomflot on an arrangement to pick up 2 new, really ice-class ships to really continue the innovation in this space. They're on long lease, and they're an excellent example of how we combine marine and Arctic challenges and LNG challenges in the way to come. Really an exciting space to watch. Let me move on to more innovation in the area of LNG. This ship is a floating LNG barge. It's really impressive. It's an impressive way to really combine deep water, floating production, storage, and offloading capabilities with LNG capabilities. It's big in size, and one of my colleagues will tell more about it in the course of today. But in essence, size-wise, it fits 5 of these Sydney Harbour constructions in one. It has cables which run from Moscow to Barcelona. In terms of size, it's about 4 football pitches long, and if you're a golf player rather than a football player, this is a par 5 hole, and then not even a short one. Really significant in size. It can stay in position even at Hurricane 5 type of storms, which is very important in Prelude, West offshore Australia, where the first application will be put in place. Significant innovation, the space, which is 1/4 of what would have been the space onshore. A very good combination which allows us to follow the gas. This is a great development in the space where you recognize that there's many smaller gas accumulations in the world. There's many opportunities where you can actually take the vessel from one pimple to another pimple. And if you know that out of every one big gas field in the world, there may be 5 smaller, there may be 15 even smaller, there may be 50 much smaller. This is a real great space to go, and we are still innovating in that space. I'll give you one example of the continued innovation, and that's lean FLNG. This is recognizing that not all fields are very wet in terms of gas contents, and that it's very important to find a better balance and even cheaper solutions for those fields which do not have these characteristics. It's not only about unlocking new resources and about gas applications. The world energy demand is so large that we'll need to continue to look for getting the most of our existing reservoirs. And one of my colleagues will be talking about enhanced oil recovery. Talking about enhanced oil recovery, which more and more in this world is not an add-on, but is something you think through as you develop the field. This is about our chase as a world to improve the 1/3, the 30% of oil you normally recover out of a reservoir, and every reservoir is different, getting to maybe even 60% using these technologies. A significant effort and a significant focus area for Shell. There's many things you can do in the space of enhanced oil recovery, and we do many things. We have thermal applications where you use steam to move very viscous oil. We use miscible gas, where you can go deeper and kind of move oil in front through maybe even a CO2 type of flood. And we have chemical solutions. And that's the one I would like to talk about because it requires chemicals, it requires polymers, it requires solvents. And Shell can make an offering there because we really benefit from the fact that we're an integrated company having a chemical business at the same time. There's one specific form of enhanced oil recovery which I find very interesting, and that's doing enhanced oil recovery through water flooding. This is about tailoring the ionic composition of the water in relation to the characteristics of the pores, such that you find through laboratory experiments the best solution to dislodge the oil from the grains and hence move forward. A significant potential for enhanced oil recovery. As a matter of fact, you can even combine that water flooding with this desalinated water with polymers and do even more in that space. Yeah? You can actually kind of reduce the total amount of polymers you use in the space by a factor of 5 to 10, whilst having higher recovery factors. That makes a significant difference. It makes a significant difference onshore, but it's particularly game-changing when you go offshore, where space considerations are often the limiting factor. Let me talk about innovation, and I talked about the need to innovate the way we innovate. We are in an oil and gas industry which is typical for taking a significant amount of time to develop technologies, to discover them in the laboratories and getting them into the field and then applying them. Typically 10 years plus. That's simply not good enough if you move into the future. So what we're doing is, in addition to having state-of-the-art laboratories, is making sure that the stuff doesn't stay there, because game-changing innovation in a laboratory which stays in the laboratory is no good to anybody, but really working hard and collaborating with a lot of people to get the technology in the field as quickly as possible, through pilots, through test facilities, faster and quicker. I always say innovation is a contact sport. You need to work with a lot of people to really make the difference in that space. And getting out faster and quicker is a key element in that space. Fiber optics. Last topic, last example I'm going to share in this space. Making the most of the existing fields is definitely also about really understanding what's happening in these reservoirs and really doing the monitoring properly. We work with fiber optics. As a matter of fact, we work with a company called Kinetic. It's an aerospace company. And we bring technology from a different industry into the oil and gas industry to really help using these sensors, which you know from the telephone industry and from television. But here we talk about the sensors, not the fiber optic sensors, rather than as a conduit, to really listen. Distributed acoustic sensing is the system which is used to what's happening in the reservoir and be able to kind of make real-time interventions, optimizing production in the process. Let me wrap up. I could talk about many more technologies, but I don't have the time. I could talk about high-performance computing, about visualization, and talk about the interactions which we have with the IBMs and the Intels of this world, because big data and how to handle big data is going to be a significant differentiator in the years to come, and we are already preparing for that. But let me round off in terms of overall conclusions in this space. I hope that through the day, through the presentations of my colleagues and the booths around you, you get a sense that we as Shell are working very hard and very smart on making the difference and getting into game-changing technologies in the energy space. I also hope that you get appreciation. This is not about tweaking. This is about really finding innovative ways to make a difference. And that difference we deliberately seek by working and collaborating with many other partners on not normal technologies in the oil and gas industry. We don't shy away from that, and unusual partners. With that, I think I would like to stop. I said somewhere during my presentation that Shell has a very simple mission. We want to be the most competitive and innovative company in the world. And we hope that by doing so and in doing so, we can be a preferred partner of choice in Russia, driving Russia forward. I really wish you all a very good Innovation Day. Thank you very much.